Okay, did you try to read anything about file systems? Can
Yes,
we
sir.
start by asking what is a file system? Who can tell me?
Using a disk,
Pardon?
an abstraction provided by the OS to make use of the disk.
Okay, good. What else?
Sir, we can also use it to like communication as a communication medium.
Yeah, we can use it as a communication, but it's not a great communication medium, right?
Yes, sir.
Of course, two processes can write on a file and read, but it's very time consuming. Of course, it can be done. What else?
To store the
It's like a
data
data structure.
even after the processes and to maintain the data and
Yeah. So when process runs and there's a lifetime of process, right? Usually ends very soon. Okay, but the file that it creates retains until unless the owner of the file, the owner process explicitly deletes it. Okay. All right. So all these answers are correct. Okay, let's start. And you can see there is one more book that I have added, which I have used for this lecture. As part of that, it's by Sarwar and Koretsky, Linux system. Okay. So you can, this is a nice book focused on Linux and the textbook. So it's quite comprehensive. Okay, all right. So today we'll study, we'll revise what we studied earlier. We'll study the concept directory and then hard and soft links, which you have used. You can relate to this topic because you have been using it when you do anything on computer, primarily with respect to writing or creating or retrieving something which is largely comes from file. So we have seen that file system deals with files. That is how files are structured, named, accessed, used, protected, implemented, and managed. Managed means that how, in fact, the files are created, how it is created, where it should appear, and then how files are managed or maintained in a disk, and so on and so forth, right? So all that comes under, and also the operation. What is the way that file name that you're trying to access actually results into something that is there on disk, right? All this mapping comes under file system, right? So file system is a part of OS, okay, that does all these operations. Okay, then we have seen how files are named, and there are different files of different types. Okay, and most of the files, all the files that we see here are of type regular. Of course, regular files can be of text and binary. Okay, we have seen one PPT that I have sent to you is tells you all the file. See, any file consists of zeros and ones. There's a bottom line, right? Okay, then who defines the structure of that? What is in file? For example, your Microsoft Word file, you write a sentence and a word you highlight with different color or underline it. There must be something around that, right? So it's just not, while reading it translates you as just simple bytes, but there is a structure inside the file. Okay, the way file is formatted. So a docs file will be very different from, say, a text file, will be very different from JPEG file, and so on. If you give input of JPEG file to a Microsoft Word file, it will not be able to understand anything. Okay. So while for OS, these files are nothing but sequence of bytes. OS treats, in general, when we talk of Linux or Windows or Mac OS, it treats file as a sequence of bytes. Okay. All right. So we treat this as sequence of bytes. There are other type of files also, like that we used to use when we use punch cards or in mainframes, which are, they may be in existence. For example, this may be in existence, which consists of tree of records, but very rarely. Okay, so and we are not going to discuss that. Most of files that we handle today are of byte sequence. Now, advantage of byte sequence, as we mentioned earlier, is that OS treats this as a simply string of bytes or as a sequence of bytes. Okay, a linear sequence of it. That's it. Okay, the semantics of that, how these bytes are to be interpreted, depends on the application. So Microsoft Word file, when stored on disk, is nothing but zeros and ones or sequence of bytes. And then when these bytes are retrieved, then Microsoft Word will interpret it. Maybe first few bytes represent something and so on and so forth. Like in case of PNG file, please go through PNG file, and in fact you can create one PNG file and then see how data is structured inside a file, right? So although it's nothing but sequence of bytes, but maybe first few bytes will say that next few bytes are say for example data corresponding to maybe something, maybe a pixel or maybe something. Okay, so that, please go through that contents, and you may also try to see how different files are actually structured by using some Linux command, and then you can see the contents of the file, and you can see all these details in the PPT that I've sent to you. All right, so we are focused only on this one. Okay, so today basically regular file usually of two types, and binary is for when you have executable file. Okay, that executable file that we create has got to have certain format using which OS should know that format, right? OS should know that format, and knowing that format, OS can create process image. Okay, so there is a very specific format to it. Earlier there is multiple formats. Now there is a common format for linking as well as for for the exe file. Okay, earlier object file and the exe had different formats, but now is a common file format. Okay, so please look at ELF file format that is sent to you in a PPT, and then try to understand how it works. Okay, all right, and then another type of file which we use is called directory. Okay, all other kinds of file we are not interested now, and socket I will assume that you have already covered in networking. If not, please go through the book contents. If time permits, and at the end we may cover it. Okay, all right. So what is a directory? What does it contain? Anyone?
Folders and files. Yeah.
What does it contain?
Folders, files, subdirectories.
Yeah, it contains name of the files. Okay, and then file can also be a directory. So it contains list of files and directory. But apart from that, it also contains a lot of other things. Okay, there's something else. Okay, we'll look at this little later. Okay. So regular file we have seen is nothing but is organized as linear array of bytes, which you call it byte stream. All right. So Linux does not support anything apart from byte stream. So a file is nothing but a sequence of bytes, and reading, if you read it from that file, then you get bytes. Okay. So any byte within a file can be read or written to. Okay. And since the sequence is nothing but linear array of bytes, then there must be a position from where we will do the operation, right? So there is a specified position. Okay. It's called file position or file offset. So we'll use what? File position. So when we open a file, then this file position is always at a 0. And we can move this file position to any place. Okay. That we have studied in the last class. Reading or writing is done by byte. Okay. File position, of course, we can set, you know, the position of this, where from where the operations are to be performed. Okay. So if you write a, if the pointing to a byte, and if you say that do the operation right, that at the file position something, then this byte which is there is overwritten. Okay. So it means that it's not possible to expand file by writing in middle of it. Okay, you have a word file, and then there is you say you have forgotten to put, say, word the the, right? So then if you just insert word the, your file expands. It appears to you that file expands, but actually in that file position this is inserted, the word the is inserted, and rest of the contents is moved towards the right, but it's done by the file system, by the application. Okay, so what, so it will do complicated operation even to do such a primitive task, right? It will, from, because file position from where you want to insert is fixed, and whatever is there will be overwritten. Now file application must, or file editor must make sure that whatever is overwritten is saved somewhere, and all the, basically all the content of the file towards the right are saved and then attached to attached after what has been inserted. Okay, so basically all I wanted to say is that in a file position, if you want to write, then you can write, but whatever is there is overwritten. Okay, a single file may be opened more than once. Okay, multiple processes can open, or even single process can open a file multiple times. Okay, and whenever it is opened, it gives a new file descriptor that you would have already noticed it. Okay, because every time it is opened, say let's assume it's being opened by multiple processes, then each process is doing some operation on it, the file position will be different where in the file it's operating. So hence this file descriptor has to capture all that in corresponding to that instance of file opening. Okay, so whenever a file is opened, a file descriptor is created. Now these file descriptors can be shared by multiple processes. Okay, all right, so there is no restriction on that. Okay, however, if multiple processes are using same file descriptor or multiple file descriptor, it is responsibility of process to make sure the contents are predictable, or as the syntax, as the semantics they want to be. Okay, so as we have seen, concurrent reading and concurrent writing can lead to ambiguity, all right, or corruption. All right, is it clear? Any question? No?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Now file, we use file names. Okay, say we can use say prg dot whatever, right, txt. But all this is for users. Okay, and these are represented internally by inode number or information node number. Okay, so with each file we have something called inode, which keeps all the information about the file. We'll see it later. And this is for each inode there is one integer number, which we'll call a I number. I number is nothing but we can call it name or number for this inode, and contains some information about the file. Okay, so when a file is created, system allocates a unique inode to the file. Okay, all right, don't get confused between file descriptor and inode. Inode is a common across all file descriptors. Inode tells about the file, who is the owner. For example, what is the modification time, last modification time, who's the owner, group ID or user ID, or what is the type of that file, whether it's a regular file or it's a directory or device or pipe, etc. All these are also there. What is the length of the file, and then where exactly in the disk the file is located. All that, pointer to the location, the disk, right? All that information is there in the inode. Okay, so when a file is created, a unique inode is assigned, and then we have a directory. Okay, and in that directory an entry is created corresponding to the file, and then directory gives that directory entry is nothing but ordered pair, which is inode number and file name. Okay, so you can if you use Linux, and then you can see what is the inode number also, right? If you use ls minus il, then you can see that. I have just ran it in this morning and I'll show it to you. Okay, for example, I created a file chapter 3 in current working directory, so it allocates system. So what is system? Nothing but kernel or OS allocates inode number 53472 72 or 73, whatever. Okay, let's write 73, and then directory entry is this one. All right, so this inode contains file information that we have seen, like ownership and length and so on, and pointers to various blocks in the disk. Okay, there is a direct pointer and then there is an indirect pointer. So file length can be, if there is an indirect pointer, the pointer to pointer, which is nothing but similar structure as this one, then we can use, we can represent more number of blocks. We'll see that later. Okay, when maybe after 3 or 4 classes, but right now this is just for your visualization that inode contains information about the file, that's a metadata of the file that we have just discussed, and also pointers to various blocks where the files are stored. And we have seen disk reading and writing can be done in terms of blocks. Okay, so a little bit about directory. Directories are handled as a normal files. However, in the inside, in inode is marked as a directory. In node we have seen the one information is type. So here there will be one information called type. If it's a directory, okay, if this inode corresponds to a file which is of directory type, the content here will be directory in type field. Okay, all right. So accessing a file via its inode is cumbersome and unsecure. Okay, so user don't use inode number. Users are allowed to use only file name. So of course directories are used to provide file names with to which access files. So directory provides a mapping of names with inode number that we have seen just here. Okay.
Sir, why is inode number unsecure? Like, why are there security issues with it?
Well, first thing is that inode is unique to the file system. Okay, why it's more of a convenience, I guess. Security, well, I mean, you can share file with its name, not by its inode number. Possibly you're telling something about the file system, I don't know. Maybe inode numbers are created sequentially or some order, and from that some more data can possibly be interpreted or guessed. Okay, so maybe so while file name is from one file name, you cannot find out the next file name. Possibly with inode number, the way inode numbers allocated, one can, I don't know whether it's allocated randomly by us, but it some information can be interpreted. Something can maybe sequentially one can try accessing inode numbers. If it OS allocates this number sequentially, it's much easier than actually guessing the file name. Possibly. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. You can also Google it and find it out. Okay.
What happen,
Pardon?
so what happen if file names are same to multiple files?
Uh,
So
in,
does
in, in a directory, if you do it, what will happen? Try doing it.
so within a directory?
Yeah, file name can be
So
same,
like
but it's part of different directory, right?
so as you said that we store ordered pair of inode and file name.
Okay, so it's like this. What's your name?
Aditya.
Aditya. So there may be thousands of Adityas, right? Within IIT, there may be many Adityas, right? But Aditya,
Yes.
so how do you make unique your name unique? Okay, forget about surname. Your name is Aditya, for example, and then your father's name, where do you live, and all that. Is that sequence of different attachment to you, gives uniqueness, right? Similarly, file with path name, etc., gives the uniqueness. So we can say that there cannot be two files, okay, with the same name inside a directory. Okay, when you try to create the same name, then OS will warn you. Okay, is that your question?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So can files in different directory have same inode number?
Yes, we will come to that. That's called link. Okay, you can always create point. You can always reference the same file from multiple directories. So names can be different or same. Okay, pointing to the same inode, that's pointing to the same file. Okay, so we'll run that command. Okay. All right. So file directories are implemented by kernel, and it could be a simple table or hash table. A hashing you would have used, right? Hash algorithm or hashing is faster, right? I mean, although it's not space-wise not that efficient, but in terms of speed, very fast, right? All right. So kernel directly uses a mapping to perform name to inode resolution. Okay. So when you say you're starting with okay something and then keep moving in the path, then every time OS goes to a particular directory, say a/b/c dot your name.txt. So it goes to directory A. First, it starts from top, goes to directory A, looks at the mapping, okay, for next element, and goes to that inode, and so on. So we'll look at it now. Okay. So a user application requests a file name to be opened. So what does kernel do? Kernel opens a directory containing the file name and searches for given file name. Okay. From the file name, kernel obtains a inode number, because we have seen that each directory entry is ordered pair of inode number and the name of the file, right? So now you give name, then from that finds out the inode number. Okay. And then this inode number points to inode. Okay. And then this inode contains the metadata associated with file, location of file data on the disk. Okay. All right. So when you want to use a file in a directory, okay, it simply, and you have given the name of the file, then it looks at the name of file, finds out the inode number. So inode number is nothing but a pointer to inode, and then from the inode you can extract all the information, whatever operations you are doing. Okay, or you can write on the file, or read from the file, or whatever. So initially there is only one directory on the disk, which is called root directory. Okay, in Linux we represent it by this \\. But there can be many directory in a file system, but all will then start from this root directory. Okay, so links inside directory can point to inodes of other directories. So directories nest inside other directories, or there is a hierarchy of directory. Okay, for example, we can say user identifies via path name, which say \home \blackbird \concord.png. Okay, what does it mean? This is a root directory. Then this home directory. From home directory, it finds out the home directory contains entry for Blackbird directory. From Blackbird directory contains entry for Concord directory from the Concord file, and from that you get this inode number. Okay. So given to open a given path, kernel walks each directory entry in the path name to find out the inode of next entry. Okay, you got it. So in the directory, there is a home directory. Okay, okay, so it will have a directory called home and corresponding. Okay, sorry, assuming that this home directory, it will have Blackbird and then inode number, and there may be others. So from this, it searches for Blackbird, gets the inode number, and then goes to that file. This file corresponding to this inode number, which in fact is a directory, and there it finds searches for Concord, and it may be there many, and then from here it gets the inode number, which it uses. All right, and then it caches all this information that is corresponding to file name and inode number in a cache. So basically such that every time it does not have to then do this, what do you call that, walking, and because it's expensive. So it just does it once and then puts it in cache, hoping that it will be used again. So we know now the concept of path is a string that identifies file or directory, like this one. Okay. Now there can be, we have seen, because you have done programming using Linux, then there can be absolute path which starts with root directory, the backslash. So basically you will have to specify starting from the top how you are going to walk to the file. This is basically sequence of directories, and finally last directory will contain files, right, which you are interested in. Okay, or it could be relative path with respect to the current working directory. I am sure you would have also used this. Okay, all right. So paths are resolved from left to right, and respective names are looked up in the directory. Okay, so we can see that when you are scanning this from left to right or walking the left to right, okay, and there are many such, and at the end, for example, name.txt is there. Everything else apart from the last one has to be directory, or file type is of directory, and each will also have a inode corresponding to that. All right, any question? Are you able to understand?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So this is a hierarchy of file using directory. Okay, simple. It starts with backslash here, and then bin. This is a directory. This contains two files, echo and ls, and you can see directory symbol is slightly different from file symbol. File is a rectangle, and directory is a rectangle with some extra whatever, rectangle on top. Okay, all right. So you can just walk through from this one to a file. So kernel, if you give this path backslash home, then Tom, then work, then class, then OS, then hw1.txt, right? So first it will go to this directory and see inode number corresponding to home, and from there it will go to the file or the directory for home, and from that it will get the details or inode number of Tom. From there it will get inode number of work, and so on. Okay, so can we say the directory is always a tree graph, a plain tree, and reference tree and non-tree. Tree does not have a cycle, right? So you see that this is not a cycle, and it's very simple to manage. Many earlier OS never allowed a cycle, but you can also have a cycle here, right? So for convenience, a file can appear in two directories. The same file can be part of directory OS, which is defined by the path name which you can create, or it can be also part of to-do directory. Okay. Now with this, there are questions. So what kind of link this we create? Okay, and then we'll see little later today. So we can consider a current directory having. So this is a current directory. Whatever directory, you can take some directory and create three files: chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. Okay, the logical structure is chapter 1 corresponds to this file, chapter 1.txt file, or whatever, the second file and third file. These are three files. Okay, the directory structure, if you go to the corresponding disk block where directory is stored and read it, it will tell you about, of course, there are two entries in the beginning corresponding to current directory and then parent directory. So these are inode number correspond to current directory and then parent directory. And then there are three inode. This is corresponding to chapter 1, corresponding to chapter 2, and this is corresponding to chapter 3. Okay, so can you run this command and then see inode number? Okay, before that, let's look at the relationship, right? So first we have, when we have a directory entry, like for example here, okay, this, the inode number points to this is an integer which points to an entry in a table corresponding to that inode. So this is the inode corresponding to chapter 3, and then this here points to inode. Okay, this is the inode corresponding to chapter 3. Okay, and this inode in turn points to the file on the disk because it gives the file's location on the disk. Okay, all right, simple. Any question? No?
No, sir.
All right, so I ran this on my one directory called sample. Okay, and then I ran this ls minus il. So on the leftmost part, I got the inode numbers corresponding to 3 files. I have chapter 1.ppt, chapter 2.ppt, and chapter 3.ppt. Okay, so I got 3 inode numbers corresponding to this here. Okay, so now let's okay. I was just wondering whether this is the inode number or the one here. I didn't notice this.
Sir, that is the size, the one on the right.
The one on the right is size. Okay, good. All right, so this must be inode number. You're right, because inode number also has got to have same format, right? Same number of digits. All right, now let's come to question of what is a link. Okay, and how we have created a graph here which is non-tree. So this is the one here. So this is nothing but a link, but link in general is mapping between a file, mapping between the name and the inode number. Okay, okay, so now let's study file sharing with links. Attributes of Linux files are stored in inode on disk, that we know. When file is opened, then inode is copied into the main memory. That's also fine, because inode contents have to be there in the main memory, okay, for easy access. How the use of inode that results in mechanism that allows you to access file by multiple path names. So can we have multiple path names, okay, to point to the same file, as we have seen in earlier example, right? So basically the file name or different file names can be there in different directories pointing to the same file. Okay, and so basically we use a link is way to establish connection between files to be shared with the directory entries. Okay, so we have a directory entry, for example, here. Okay, this is a directory entry, and this is also a directory entry. This is a directory. Okay, then how do we? Okay, so it's basically in this directory to do, there is a file, there must be a file called something. To do directory will have a file called some.txt. Also in this directory, OS directory also has same file pointing to the same some inode number. Okay, All right. Okay, so if file has n links, it means the file has n directory entries somewhere in the file system hierarchy. Okay. All right. So now we'll study what are different type of links, right? There are Linux supposed two type of links, hard links, and second is soft or symbolic links. Okay. So hard link is simply a pointer to inode to the file, inode of a file. Okay, it means that two directory entries that we have seen earlier, the one that, so let's assume that this is a inode of a file that gives details of file. So this directory entry here, okay, whatever name you call it, say file1 dot text, here you somewhere other in other directory path, you can call it again may file1 dot text or whatever. You can call it file2 dot text also, but this directory entry will point to the same inode number. All right, that's all it says. Okay, so now if there are this inode, one of the entry is link count. Okay, we might not have noticed it here. I don't know whether we have noticed it here or not. No, it's not there. I have not mentioned it here, but it also has got to be link count. So now link count tells how many such mappings exist. Okay. So why do we need this link count? Anyone? So for example, in this example here, their link count will be 2. Okay. When you suppose you unlink a file or delete a file, okay, so what will happen if there are 2 links? File will not be deleted. Only thing, one link count will be reduced. So in that directory where you are trying to delete file, it will disappear. That entry will disappear, and inode will reduce the link count. Okay, when link count becomes 1, okay, and you delete it, then it will go away. The file actually will be deleted from everywhere. That entry will be deleted, and also file will also be deleted from hard disk. All right, you got it? Any question?
So will it not be stored in recycle bin?
Pardon?
Recycle bin.
Yeah, it is OS responsibility to handle with that. Whether like in Mac OS, file is actually not deleted; it goes to trash directory. Okay, and then basically sometimes users by mistake delete, and then there must be way to recover it. So there's a way to which OS, where is much OS specific, but OS can create a. So what does it mean? While for user the file is deleted, it's not part of any directory, but it remains in hard disk or disk. Okay, but when explicitly user cleans it up, or OS periodically can have a policy of cleaning it up, then it can reclaim all the resources. That's OS policy. So garbage collection, cleaning, etc. can be done by OS according to the policy. Yes. All right. Any question? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So now you can create hard link using the command called ln. So you use ln existing file name and create a new file name. Okay, now you can create this in different directories. So if you give a path, then it will be created in that directory. Okay, So for example, I have 3 files, chapter1.pptx, chapter2.pptx, and chapter3.pptx. Okay, and then if I give ls minus il, oh sorry, before that I have used this command called ln chapter3.pptx, and then create a link from here, and this is the new file name that I give, chapter3.hard. Okay, now both of these will point to the same inode. Okay, all right. So now if I run this ls minus il, I can see that inode first to have this one, and then last 2 files have the same inode number. This is the same. Okay, all right, means that it has created 2 entries in the directory, chapter3.pptx and chapter3.hard. However, the inode number is the same. All right, the same thing is depicted here. So these are the files. Okay, so chapter 3 is created now. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. There are 3 inode numbers correspond to these 3. And then I have created chapter3.hard, and it actually points to the same file. And I can see here the same inode number is there. Okay, all right. Okay, and I can do this in different directories, as I have done in the same directory here. Can do this in different directories. So this first directory and second directory. However, both will finally point to the same file through inode. Of course, inode is not explicitly shown here. Okay, both will have same inode number that you can notice, 83476. All right. So this one kind of link, this hard link. We can also have second kind of link, which is called soft link or symbolic link. You would have seen that in many OS, if you're Mac, you can see you can create aliases. Okay, so aliases or soft link is not actually a hard link, obviously, right? So you can name a file by multiple names. So we can use multiple names to refer to the same file. Then symbolic link or soft link is a directory mapping from file name to another file name. It's not a file name to inode. It's a one file name to another file name. So in the directory entry, what you will write is this file name, whatever file name, say file1.txt, to you map it to whatever file name using path. Okay. So to open a file via a symbolic link, file system first translates name in the symbolic link to the target name. This becomes a target name, say a.a/b/c/say file.txt, and then uses target name to open the file. All right. Okay. Now, one disadvantage, there are many advantages. One disadvantage is that so if I remove this file, link to this file, or unlink this file, then I cannot access using this symbolic link. Okay, because ultimately it points to the same thing here. All right. So that's it. Just a minute. Let me just. Okay. Okay, all right. So I think I have not included that. Okay. Any question?
Yes, sir. I have. Sir, in the hard link, sir, is it like shortcuts in Windows?
No.
Okay. And sir, second, that
Shortcut is
when
yeah, shortcut is different in its meaning. Okay.
so and sir, second is that when we create a dot hard chapter 3 dot hard file.
Uh-huh.
So if we move that file from that directory to other directory, will that still work? Because sir, it has same inode.
Yes, it should work. OS has to make sure that works. Yeah, it should work. You try doing it. It should work, in my opinion. Right, but let's try doing it. Okay. Any other question on file? What is the relationship between file descriptor and inode? And what is the difference?
Sir, inode is the metadata to the file, na?
That's right. And what
That's a
is
file descriptor.
yeah?
File descriptors are just like directories to save the byte stream. That's coming.
Right. The file descriptor, we'll look at the relationship explicitly in the diagram. So ultimately, file descriptor should also point to inode. File descriptor gives additional information about where exactly in the file the operation is to be performed. File pointer information is there. Okay, but file pointer information you see, or file position information is not there in inode, because inode can be used by multiple processes. So it tells about the file, details of the file, and other details where exact is how it is being used, whether it is what operations are being done, what etc are not contained in this one. So file position etc is there in file descriptor. So when you open a file, you get a file descriptor, and then use that file descriptor. Okay. All right. Anything? Okay. One question that you asked about security hole, if you use inode number, is like this. Suppose I want to send email to all of you. And if I am a bad element, then I have to guess your names, right? And which is impossible because number of combination of names can be huge. But suppose I have to send email, if I know one person's what do you call that, roll number or ID, student ID, then I know that all other IDs are related to this ID. Okay, plus minus something, some range. Then I can send an email. If your email address is your roll number with at iitm.ac.in, then I can send it to all of you, right? So I can penetrate the system. So that may be one reason. A number of combination, if number of digits are fixed for inode, then it's easy to break. It's easy to explore. Then number of combination with text. Okay. All right. Anything else? Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you then.